Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle. I would have probably talked about this on Monday, but since I pre-recorded all of these things, I hope you all saw my upload last Saturday about Rayquaza getting V-Create. I left a little blurb in the comments, description, whatever, at the bottom underneath the video, and, you know, it should be manageable. That's all I have to say. I think we all have probably read up on it by now, or if you haven't, just go check it out. It's a pretty cool thing. But, you know, Rayquaza's been waiting for that fire move, and he got it. Anyways, back to the battles here. I'm going to be bringing you a standard OU match today against Herb Mags. I figured I might as well bring another one. This was actually a really good match. I forgot that this was actually a really close one, and there were a lot of plays in now. This is kind of going to be like the one that I showed you with Tearfing a week or two ago. I think it was last week. But anyways, a lot of predictions. This was after, I think this must have been our 5th match of the night or something, because we were making so many over predictions, just trying to predict each other, making these different plays and everything. But he's bringing his sand team. I'm bringing my normal team. So let's just go straight into this. He's going to lead off with his Tyranitars. I lead off with my Infernape. Now, after having this Tyranitar hit 3 out of 5 times with a close combat, he's going to switch straight into his Gengar right away. I'm not going to over-predict because I just kept like 4 out of 5 times using close combat. So this time he finally gets his wish and I don't take his T-Tar out first turn. Now he's going to set up a substitute. I know he's going to do this, so I go for the Overheat. Now, I went for the Overheat just in case the Thunder Punch wouldn't break it, but as you will see, he's going to go for another substitute, and when I go for Thunder Punch, the Thunder Punch is actually going to break it. So I I kind of unfortunately put myself at -2, and if he has the Skarmory, Thunder Punch will still hit Skarmory super effective damage. Just Overheat would be better, and I think having that less special attack drop would have been nice. Anyways, he's not going to do it though, so I don't have to worry about it. I just keep going for Thunder Punches, and at this point I realize he's stalling me out to go low enough so that a Shadow Ball or something will actually take me out. So what I'm going to do is switch out, predicting the Shadow Ball attack, and I'm going to go into Lucario to resist it, and he actually goes for the Shadow Ball. So, just knowing this type of stuff, this is what we've been doing to each other all night on this night that we played a long time ago, way back in December. But he is going to go for the Focus Blast. He does hit it, and he takes out my Lucario for the first kill of the match. Not a big deal. I don't want this thing behind a sub, and at this point I don't see him using Pain Split, so I'm not too concerned. I'm going to go into my Scarf Gengar to threaten him out. He is going to switch out, obviously. I predict him to switch into anything, so I just go for the safe T-Bolt, which hits everything on his team, and, just to get the hit off. Now, obviously I can't stay here because I'm locked into Thunderbolt, so I'm going to switch out, and I'm going to switch into Swampert. By the way, I apologize if this thing is a little choppy. I have a program running in the back that has to run at this point, so this is going to show up a little choppier than usual. Anyways, I know this thing has T-Wave, so I switch into Swampert to take it. He's going to go for the Protect to see what move I'm going to go for. I go for the Ice Beam. At this point, I was thinking maybe he'd go out into, I don't know, maybe T-Tar or Gengar, but I was thinking like he'd predict the rocks and go into Gengar perhaps, but I just keep firing off Ice Beams. I can't remember why. Maybe just thinking that Gengar was eventually going to come out. At this point I realize he's most likely just going to stay in, so I should probably set up my rocks before that Gengar comes in, or the Scizor that he has on his team. So what I do is I take this opportunity to set up my rocks now, and at this point it's kind of, this is when it comes down to, he's got to predict to see what I'm going to do. Am I going to switch out, or is he just going to hit me with Seismic Toss? I predict him to go for a Thunder Wave, because I thought, after this, he knows that I'm a special attacker, but I actually just go for the Roar. And I bring in his Skarmory, because I figured he's not going to switch out, I'm not going to switch out. Let's just get this going in a different direction. So he brings in his, I bring in his Skarmory, and he starts setting up spikes, and I'm like, okay, I don't want you staying in here, goodbye. And I bring out his Conkeldurr, and that's something I definitely don't want in here, but it showed up for the party, so at this point I know I'm not going to be bulky enough to take a hit from it, so I'm going to go into Infernape to be death fodder, as he does actually go straight for the Drain Punch. So he gets a crit. I don't think that mattered because, Infernape's not the most defensive, so he's going to take it down. He's going to get hurt by Sandstorm, which is nice, but Leftover's going to bring him back to full. I'm going to go into Celebi. I'm not fearing a payback, especially since he hasn't gone for any bulk ups. So he's actually going to switch out, and he's going to go into his Blissey to resist a hit. I predict this, and I just go straight for the Nasty Plot. Because that was, Blissey is just going to absorb everything like that. And, in the other games, I would just go straight for attacks. So we're mixing it up, using special attack or using Nasty Plot or something like that. So at this point, he's predicting me to attack. But right now, I get to +4, and he's actually going to fire off the T-Wave. Now, I'm not concerned about this, obviously, because I have the Natural Cure. It could help him in the future, getting the Para Hacks and healing up to full and being safe from +4. But at this point, if he switches into anything and I hit it, it's toast. So what he's going to do is start doing Seismic Toss and try and take me out with the Blissey itself. I go for the Giga Drain. It does a heck of a lot to that Blissey, and especially with the Life Orb. And I'm gaining back enough to compensate for the Sandstorm and the Life Orb recoil. Not by much, but it's enough to keep me alive. So he's going to go for Protect, try and stall me out to get more HP back. I should have predicted that, but I didn't want to take the risk. I thought he might go for the Seismic Toss just to get the final amount of damage onto me. But at this point, the Sandstorm is keeping him at a range where I can take him out with a Giga Drain. He's going to fire off a Wish, and I'm just going to finish him off with a Giga Drain. Now, I didn't know what he wanted to bring in, but as you're going to see, the poke that he switches into was logical. Because usually Celebes carry Grass Move and Earth Power. But he doesn't know that I have the HP Fire. So he switched into Skarmory to try and get him back up to Sturdy, thinking that maybe I couldn't do anything to him. But because I have the HP Fire, I'm going to take him out, and his wish is for naught. So now he brings in his Gengar. I know that he's faster, so I don't want to stay in here. I want to get rid of the Paralysis anyway, so I'm going to switch out. And I'm going to go into my Swampert to take the hit. I thought I would take this a lot more since it's in the sand, and I have a special defense boost. But, Gengar is a beast. So, obviously, I'm not going to take this. It's going to be a clean 2-hit KO. Actually, yeah, it's pretty clean. 36% damage, yeah. So, he's going to take me out with a second Shadow Ball. I've got my rocks up. That's all I really wanted. But, Gengar at this point is going to be threatened out by my Gengar again. So, I know most likely he's going to stay in since there's no point in him switching it back and it's going to die to rocks anyways. But I go for the HP Ice just to be safe. Now, at this point, this was actually when I made a mistake on typing because for some reason I thought that Ice was super effective against Rock. And then I realized, well, in the older generations, whenever I fought, all the Rock types were part Ground. And that sucks. So, he takes me out with a Crunch. At the same time, I thought maybe he'd use Pursuit, but I'm like, for some reason, why didn't Ice hit me for super effective? Oh, it only hits for neutral. That's interesting. So I bring in Haxorus now, because I figure, okay, well, ground will grind you. But I also have the Brick Break, which is 5 times 4 super effective. So I take it as T-Tar. He obviously isn't worried, so he's going to use this opportunity to go into Conkeldurr. And at this point, it's going to be a little bit of a setup war. Now, the only difference is he's going to have the advantage because he's going to be getting the attack and the defense boost, where I'm getting a speed boost. And I really don't need the speed over this Conkeldurr. And at this point, I must be, forgetting that 2 Mach Punches can probably easily take me out. I can Dragon Claw as much as I want. But at this point, he is going to set up the +2. Now, to be honest, I thought he would go for 2 Mach Punches. But after watching this battle a couple of times, I understand now why he sets up and does what he does on this next turn. I go for another Dragon Claw. I bring him really close to dying, but he goes for the Drain Punch, which was the smart play because now he heals up all that damage that I just put on him, which is smart. Now, because of that Sandstorm, he's not going to be able to heal up, so now my non-paralyzed Celebi can come in, and we're going to Celebrate. I tried to say that. I'm sorry. I go for the Giga Drain. He doesn't have good special defense, so it will be a clean kill. Now, I'm at that much health. That's a very low amount of health. He brings in Scizor, though, which is his last Pokemon, and because I have the HP Fire, it doesn't matter if I'm not nasty plotted. He doesn't have great special defense even with the sand, and I am going to take him out with that much health left. But if he had one more poke, he would have won because Sandstorm would have wiped me out after Life Orb recoil. So that was an excellent match, Herb Mags. Really, really nice. Celebi took out 4 Pokemon. Blissey, Skarmory, Conkeldurr, and Scizor. And, oh my goodness, it was a very... what did we do? Did we finish after this? No, we fought again. So this is like a series of 6 or 7 OU battles we were doing in a row, and, yeah, it was insane. But Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this match. I will be trying to get you new battles, as I have promised. I just figured out where my logs are being saved because I put this new patch on, and remember when I said that great match that I had was lost? Well, a few other great matches were also lost, and I was talking to mods and everything, and they couldn't even figure it out. And then for some reason, I opened up my computer. All of a sudden, these two files pop up in front of my eyes. And it was creepy. Like, it was empty, empty, empty. All of a sudden, two files, and there was my save file, the one save file, not the ones that were good, but it was just a save file. I'm going, oh, thank goodness, the ghost in my computer put the file in now. I don't know. Anyways, I'll leave you guys the rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Peace.